Hello, everybody. I think we're live. Yeah, there we are. Fantastic. Whoops, I better put that on mute so you don't hear me. Okay. How are we doing, folks? And I realize I didn't put the title. Hi, Margaret. Hope you had a wonderful Christmas and gearing up for a great new year. Hi. I realize I forgot to put a title into the live as I was going live. So, what am I talking about? All right, so today this is about goal setting. Uh, Obviously, 2025 is around the corner, and I want to help you get your mindset in the right place and start thinking about what your goals are ahead of you, and also how to go about setting your goals so that you're more likely to be able to achieve them as we move forward into next year. All right, so hi Annie, good to see you as well. And awesome, good to see my clients turning up. All right, so for anyone watching back on replay, anyone who's here who doesn't know me, I'm Karen. I'm the Plant Power Coach. I'm a whole food plant-based certified coach, health coach, life coach, and I help people achieve their healthiest selves in body, mind, and soul. Um, if you're watching the replay, please write hashtag replay. Let us know that you're watching the replay. Great to have you here. So let's dive into today. And this is really around helping you set your goals and in a way that you can achieve your goals moving into 2025. And I speak to many people who feel stuck when it comes to achieving their health and their weight loss results. And I've heard many people talk about, goal setting and the power of goal setting, how to go about goal setting. Many people have talked about this along the way. So I want to bring this to you as well. Now, many people often feel stuck and not able to move forwards, not able to achieve their goals because one, they don't have a clear vision of what it is they really want in their life, in their health, in their body, what they want themselves to look like. They're just sort of a bit vague and wishy-washy about what it is that they actually want to achieve. The second is that they don't have a roadmap to get from where they are right now to where they would like to be. And the third reason is that they don't have a deeply connected reason why it is so important for them to achieve. Their goals, or sorry, their whys are often based on a lot of pain rather than the pleasure that they're going to experience in future when they actually achieve the goal. So I'd like you to just stop and think for a moment about this question and just ask yourself what it is that you want to achieve this coming year. What do you want? What is your vision for your health? What do you want your health to look like? What do you want your weight to be? How do you want to feel in your body? I'm going to pop these questions uh, into the live here, and I want you to pick them up. And I want you, hey Lisa, good to see you too. I want you to take these questions, and I want you to write them down. I'm glad you guys are. Um, I'm glad my clients are here as well, because we're going to do some work around this in our client groups um, coming up in the next week or so. So, writing these comments down, these questions down here, just pick these up. What do you want? What is your vision for your health? You don't have to have the exact answer right now. What do you want your health to look like? What do you want your weight to be? How do you want to feel in your body? So, these are really important questions I want you to consider. Because when you can answer these questions, you are starting to paint a picture for yourself about your future. You are actually starting to create that future version of you, that future of your health, that future body, that future health in your mind's eye right now. And that is so super important because if you can create the vision, it means that you can create the reality. What we dream, we can create in real life. We have to dream it first. Why? If we don't dream it first, then we don't know what we're really trying to achieve, and we just end up dealing with day-to-day life instead of starting to think about this vision and finding our resources and our how to get there. Another question I want you to think about now. How are you going to get, hey Kaz, good to see you. Hi Robert, hey Jess. I'm glad you guys have joined us here. Another question, how are you going to get from where you are now to that end point? This is the how. This is the roadmap. And lastly, and I'll drop this comment in here, why is this so important to you? So just jot these questions down for a moment. If you know the answer to these right now, feel free to drop them in the comments, right? Just feel free to drop them in and let me know what's on your mind so far. So when I was struggling with my weight back in my 20s, I realized that I didn't have all the answers to those questions. I wasn't setting myself goals in a way that were kind of clear, smart, and I certainly didn't have a very strong why, let's just say. I just knew that I was miserable. And my whys were all based in the pain that I felt at the moment. I felt miserable in my body. I felt this big lack of confidence. I was beating myself up. I felt unattractive. And my why was all based around the pain that I was experiencing. I didn't have necessarily, I had a vision of what I wanted the end goal to look like, but I didn't really have a good roadmap of how to get from where I was to where I wanted to go. I tried several different ways to achieve it, but with my roadmap, what I didn't allow was the time that it was going to take to get there. Because I was in so much pain and I wanted to get rid of all that pain right now, I wanted immediate results. I wanted the results yesterday because I just wanted to be out of the emotional pain, the physical pain that I felt in. And I didn't really consider that I could make way more progress in a year if I just allowed myself that time, that consistency, and that patience, and just kept going. If I treated my journey like a marathon and not like a sprint, I wanted fast results. And if I wasn't seeing fast results in 3, 4 weeks, oh my God, I would quit. And I did that so many times and I wasted so many years being in pain because I didn't stick to my roadmap. I made my roadmap too hard. I didn't give myself the time and I didn't allow the patience that it was going to take to get there. And because of all of that, I had a very on, off mentality with my goals and with food and with exercise. I had no consistency. My consistency was the on, off, on, off, on, off. And what did that create? A little bit of result and then a lot of no result, a little bit of result and then a lot of no result. I was starting to make progress and then going backwards, starting to make progress, then going backwards. And I was stuck in that loop. I wasn't patient with the process. I was also stuck in that cycle of self-beat up because I just thought there was something wrong with me that I couldn't stick to something. So today I want to help you get super clear on what it is that you actually want. I want to help you create a vision for yourself, but set goals for yourself that are a stretch, but that are not so much of a stretch that you overwhelm yourself. And I think that's where I was at. I was trying to set this goal for myself that would probably take, I don't know, 3 to 4 years if I was consistent. I wanted to look like a lean, fit bodybuilder. Or not quite like a huge bodybuilder, but I wanted to look like one of those fitness girls. And I expected it to happen in 4 weeks, for goodness sake. I thought I was going to get there in 12 weeks. And if I didn't look halfway there by 4 weeks, then it wasn't working and I needed to quit. So my goal, I think, was just too big for myself. And instead of creating that vision and simply locking in the habits consistently that would get me there and allow myself for it to take as long as it was going to take, I was getting impatient. So let's talk about your goals. I'm here to help you achieve your goals this year. And let's just say it's more than just about the weight you lose, and it's more than just about the health you gain. It's more about the life that you gain. It's about living a life that is on purpose. It's living a life with meaning. It's living a life that is intentional and awesome. It's about no longer hiding from the things that you really want to be doing in life because of your health or your weight, because those things are getting in your way. It's about feeling confident in your body and stopping worrying about what everybody else thinks of how you look, worrying that everybody else is judging you, really because it's you judging yourself. It's about being able to put on whatever you want in your wardrobe, feeling great in your clothes, feeling confident in your clothes, instead of going through that constant cycle where you put something on, it's like, oh no, muffin top, oh no, that doesn't look good, and trying to find something that you actually feel good in. It's about, feeling great in who you are being as well, knowing that you're the type of person who makes intentional choices, who is prepared to do the thing that is hard to get the result that nobody else is prepared to do. All right. So this year, it's about getting out of that going through the motions mode. It's about getting into intentionally taking action and taking those steps towards your goal. Right. So this year, you are not going to be somebody who lets everything else take priority and put your goals aside. You are going to start developing habits that are going to take you towards that goal. And I want you to first get really super clear about what it is you do want, what it is you want, how you will get there, and why it is super important that you achieve it, right? It's about the life that you're going to be able to live as a result of achieving that goal. And it's about making that constant commitment to making those permanent habit changes and just not stopping until you get there, right? All right. So if you are serious about, hey Barb, hey, how do I say your name? Is it Gula? Please, hey Anne, participate in life fully. I love that, Jess. Okay, Adele, I see the effects of the opposite daily, and I want to be around for my people, but also strong and active for the people in my future. I love that. That's great. Yeah, so you're seeing the effects of what you don't want, and you're making the intentional decision to be something different. That's great. Um, Fantastic. So make sure you write down those questions that I have up there and you can answer them. So Adele, 60 kg, stronger, fitter, lower cancer risk. Let's get rid of that word cancer. Yes, able to physically combat the effects of stress, less aches and pains. Yeah, beautiful. Hey, Beck, good to see you too. All right, so yes, so if you are serious about achieving your goals this year, then keep watching, all right? And if you stay till the end, I'm going to tell you about a couple of great events that I've got coming up starting in January that are going to help propel you into that action mode and help you start seeing some fast results. So stick with me here. I'm going to try not to waffle on for too long, but I really want to help you get into action mode with regards to determining your goal, how you're going to get there, and why it's important to you. Okay, so first of all, to set your goals, you must have two steps to be able to achieve them. And I realized, this is what I was missing in the past. I was probably creating my goals like a bit of a, like a shopping list where we just like list out all these things that we want to do, really. And we don't end up getting through really many of them because we've still got our life to live. And achieving goals is always going to be hard. It's always going to stretch us. And they need to stretch us. If we want to achieve something different, if we want to have a different life, have a different way, have a different health outcome, have a different body, then we do need goals that stretch us. And so when we're stretching ourselves, we're going to be starting to do different things to achieve that goal. We have to, because if we keep doing the same thing over and over, we're only going to produce the same result over and over. All right. So, achieving your goals, achieving something new is never going to be easy. So rather than creating a great big laundry list or shopping list of goals that you want to achieve, just focus on a couple. Right? Just focus on a couple of goals, couple of meaningful goals. But the thing is, our goals do matter. We need to have goals in life. When we're just coasting through life, just going through the day-to-day motions, we feel like we don't have a purpose. We feel miserable and we can't work out why, right? So it's really good to have goals in your life. They do give you a sense of purpose and meaning. And they also help to interrupt that repetitive, like same routine that we have day in, day out, which can feel really boring. Goals can help you get out of a rut. They can help you grow and learn and expand and up level and evolve and become a new version of yourself that you're super freaking proud of. And working on goals is actually what makes us happy and fulfilled in life. They excite us. We get that dopamine reward when we can see ourselves progressing towards our goals. And if you would like to stop that cycle of getting your dopamine from your food, then start setting goals for yourself and working on those goals. Right? The human brain loves to get dopamine from working on goals and seeing the progress that we're making towards those goals. So, life is harder when we don't have goals, so we definitely want to have goals, but we do not need to have a great big laundry list or shopping list of goals. We just need to focus on the ones that really matter to us. But how we set those goals does matter. If we don't set the goals right, then we're more likely to fail. So this is why many people don't actually achieve their goals. So you are going to learn some things today. I want to help you identify your goals, but your goals might actually change slightly along the way, and that's fine too. They may change throughout the year as your priorities start to change too, and that's okay. But if you understand this process, you can make sure that you actually are starting to achieve those goals as well. So research tells us that we need two parts to our goals. So if you have these two parts, then you are more likely to achieve your goals. And they've really helped me see why I wasn't able to achieve my goals in the past. And it really helps me with helping my clients achieve their goals. So the first of all, let's just look at the definition of a goal. And the definition of the goal is a desired outcome that you wouldn't otherwise be able to achieve without doing something different. Yeah. So if you want to lose, say, 20 pounds, to achieve this, you have to do something different than you're doing now in order to achieve it. Right? It just makes sense. If you keep doing the same thing over and over, you'll keep getting the same result over and over. You want a different result, we've got to do something different. So if you're wanting to normalize your cholesterol levels, if you're wanting to bring down your inflammation, if you want to get rid of aches and pains, to make this happen, you have to do something different. All right. So that's the definition of a goal. It's that something that this would not happen if you, it won't happen unless you take some different action. All right. Now, so there will always be naturally some resistance or friction about doing something different to achieve that goal. So if there is no resistance to achieving the goal, like if you just feel like, oh, that's super easy, I know how to do that. If there's no resistance to doing something new, then it's not really a goal. It's not stretching you enough. So achieving a goal requires you to push through some level of resistance. So if you feel a little bit of fear come up when you think about your goal or a little bit of resistance to doing the things, that's okay. Perfect. You want that. You know you're on the right track with your goals then. So many of my clients come to me absolutely like they're scared. They're scared to make change. They're scared to change their diet. They're scared to change their habits. And I say, that's perfect. Great. You know you're stretching yourself now. But what we want to do is make sure that their goals are not so big that they are paralyzed, like a deer in the headlights, unable to take that first step forwards. We want to make sure that we break down those goals into doable goals that feel like a stretch, but have a level of resistance, but certainly help us move towards the greater goal. So I have a couple of goals this year. One of them is for my personal health. The other one is for my business. And so, the business one is obviously around the plans that I have in my business to help my business grow. But my other goal is to become stronger and leaner. And that is by getting back to the gym, getting back into strength training. So I want you to make sure that your goals are aligned with your dreams in life. So I want you to start thinking big. I want you to start dreaming. Allow yourself to just like blue sky it almost. Like we get so afraid to dream because we're like, oh, but I can't be that person. I can't achieve that. That's not me. But here's where the first step to living an extraordinary life is allowing yourself to dream big. Olympic athletes don't dream of becoming Olympic athletes when they're 5 years old necessarily, do they? They probably haven't even started the sport yet. So they don't know that they're going to get there, but along the way, they allow themselves to dream, they allow themselves to push themselves. And that's how they get there because they start to download that vision from up here somewhere, from out there. Like if you can dream it, it exists in a future there somewhere for you. So start to think big, start dreaming. What do you really want? Don't hold back. If you don't really know what you want, then if you're kind of like going into a bit of like, I don't know, bit of overwhelm, overthinking, in your brain, you come up with an idea and then your brain's shooting you down. I just want you to take a pause and get quiet. This happens. This is how our brain works. We've got prefrontal cortex that goes, I want all these things, and this is so exciting. And then our fear brain arcs up and goes, no, you don't. That's too hard. That's not you. Who do you think you are? All right. So I want you to get quiet with yourself for a moment. Just take a pause and just breathe deeply and just calm that nervous system down. And just calm that brain down as well. Just bring all of your focus into your body and just start to breathe deeply for me. Bring all your awareness into your body. As you start to feel yourself getting more calm, bring that breath down into your diaphragm, into your belly. As you start to feel yourself getting more calm, then you can start to ask yourself, what do I want? What do I want to achieve? What do I want my health to look like? What do I want my body to look like? What outcome do I want to achieve that is different to what I have right now? Research actually tells us that, or shows us that the people who have a meditative practice of some sort actually end up setting better goals for themselves and actually have a better chance of hitting them as well. And that doesn't necessarily mean, setting aside half an hour, sitting in an uncomfortable position, trying not to be distracted by the world around you, right? It doesn't necessarily mean, the formal types of meditation. A meditative practice can be anything that disconnects you from the go, 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 go of life, the same routine of life, right? And it just allows your brain just to relax and go into that creative dreaming space. So I have my daily walks where I get a lot of my creative ideas. I also know that if I'm in like a little bit of overwhelmed space, I will just get up and do something mundane around the house, like go and do the dishes or go and put the washing out or just go and sit on the balcony for a few minutes in the sun and just reconnect with nature. And as I do that, it's like a purposeful disconnection from the busy, the stress, the overwhelm, got to get things done, because we're not in creative mode when we're like that. And as I allow myself to do that, boom, my creativity starts to come back in. I start to allow myself to dream more. I start to allow myself to come up with solutions to problems as well. So that is what a meditative practice can also look like. It doesn't need to be, sitting there in an uncomfortable position. I don't do that often myself. I usually do it before bedtime because then it really puts me into sleepy mode. But you can work out a lot of your problems in life when you get quiet with yourself. And the best goals are the ones that are personally relevant to you, like they're meaningful to you. They feel like a stretch, they feel exciting, they feel enjoyable. Right? These are the want to do goals, not the have to do. Have to goals feel really tight. They feel like somebody else is forcing you to do this. I don't want to do it, but I have to do it. It doesn't feel good. So we want to get ourselves into that excitement space, that desire space around our goals. We want to work on them. We want to work on them because it feels exciting to do. Excuse me, I've had a sinus infection for a week. It's been wonderful. Um, and also remember that these goals need to stretch you. They need to require you to do something different to achieve them. Um, all right. So let's look at the two components of a goal that you need to have in order to set them and achieve them. And these two components of a goal are very important because they are going to they're directly related to motivation. Your willingness to stick with your goals, to stick to the habits that are going to get you to the goals, even when times are tough, even when life is throwing you curveballs, even when it seems like everything's crumbling around you, like you having issues in relationships, you might be having issues in a job or a business or whatever might be going on around you. Somebody else in your life might be getting sick. It doesn't matter. If you're setting your goals the right way, these two components are going to help you keep taking the action until you get there, despite what's happening in life. Okay, and these two components are the will and the way. You've probably heard me say this before. Hey, Alan. Hey, Linda. Good to see you. Hey, Lise. Barb, I think I said hi to you before. Hi. Um, so the will and the way. The will is um, your why. It's your big reason why. It's the big compelling why. The emotional um, drive that's going to keep you moving forwards and working on your habit change, your behavior change. It's the thing that is going to keep you going even when times are tough. We need the will, we need the why. So, some questions for you, some questions to define your why. Why is this habit change or behavior change important to you? And why now? Why now? Why do you want to change? Why is it important to you? Why do you want to change? Why now? Let me pop this in the comments for you as well, so you can pick those up. So I'm going to use this for one of my goals, the muscle and strength building. Now, why is the behavior change important to me? Because the behavior change, and this also covers why I want to change, because I value physical strength. I value being independent. I value being able to do things for myself. And if I value those things, I need to be physically strong in order to be able to do them. I don't have anybody to carry heavy shit for me. I want to be able to do this for myself. I live by myself. So I want to have the physical strength to be able to do stuff for myself and not have to rely on other people. I also love how I look when I see more muscle on my body. And because as I get older, and definitely post menopause, even in this last year, I've started to see some of the muscle that I've had start to shrink. I've noticed, given I haven't been consistent back at the gym this year. I've been consistent with moving my body. I've been consistent with, doing daily exercise of some sort, but I have not been consistent with the habits that will build the muscle and build the strength. And I know that I've lost muscle mass. Why? Because every time I go back to the gym, I've lost muscle strength. Not too much, which is great, but I have lost it. And moving forwards, now that I'm post-menopause, it is super important that I work on my muscle mass and my strength. One, to keep my metabolism high, which will help me avoid menopause weight gain. Two, to keep my muscles strong so that I avoid future falls, as I get older. And two, keeping muscle strong helps keep bone strong. So helps with that bone strength. As you put more pressure on your muscles, you're putting more pressure on your bones, and your bones will remain strong as well, which is super important particularly as we women, we age post menopause. We're no longer producing estrogen. Estrogen is what was important for bone strength. And now that we're not producing it from our ovaries at least, our body will want to store body fat to try and keep some level of estrogen production for our bone strength. So if we're working our muscles and our bones are remaining strong, then our body's not going to put on so much fat. One, because our metabolism will stay high and our bones will stay strong from the work that we're doing. Also, as we age, if we're not working our muscles and our bones, we are more at risk of falling and fracturing. And guess what happens when we fall and we fracture in our old age? Use it or lose it. Our body starts to shrink even more. And when we're not moving our body as much, our brain also starts to atrophy as we age as well. And that's where we have the risk of Alzheimer's and dementia. My father's mother passed away of dementia. She fell off the toilet seat in the middle of the night and broke her hip, I think, and went into hospital. She was active, she was always independent. She was out in the garden. She was always the one who was up doing everything for everybody else. She was that woman, right? Until she fell. She broke bones. She went into hospital. She never came out. She went into dementia at that point. I don't want to be that person, right? So I want to live. I want to be strong and fit. And I want to be that 70, 80-year-old woman who's out there still living a strong, fit, healthy lifestyle and showing others what's possible. I want to be the Chef Babette. I want to be the Anne Esselstyn, pushing tires around at 80 something years of age. I want to be that woman, right? So I want to be a great role model. These are all my whys. Right? Can you see how it's starting to paint a picture of why it's important that I go through this behavior change, that I re-adopt these habits? And why is it important now? Because I'm at that point in my life. Why is it important now? Because I already feel muscle mass starting to shrink. I'm already starting to lose some strength in my muscles. I can feel it, that the opposite starting to happen, and I don't want that. I can feel my body starting to change post menopause, and I don't want that as well. And I know that if I leave it longer, it's going to be so much harder in future. It will have a greater negative impact on my body. I'll end up with the bat wings and things like that, which then can be even harder to get rid of later in life. Because and why right now? because right now the scheduling works for me. In summer, with the call times that I have with my clients, the scheduling works for me to get into the gym early and do that first thing so that then I can come back and work with my clients. And as I get into a rhythm doing it right now in summertime with that schedule, as we start to hit winter and my schedule will change with changing time zones and things like that, I will be able to, I'll be on a roll with it. It will be habit. I will be craving doing that every single day. And I'll be like I was when I was back in my gym junkie days. I want to get back to being that version of me. And I will be that much of an addict that, it will be so much easier to go to do as we start to get through the winter months. So that's why now as well. So I want you to ask those two questions of your goal. Why is that behavior change? Why is the behavior change important to you? Um, why do you want to change? And why now? When you can answer those questions for yourself, you're going to start to, that's going to start to format the why for you. And you're going to start to have the will to move forwards. Okay, so you can write that down. Hey, Tammy. Hey, Carlos. Hey, Karen. Good to see you. Alrighty, so the second part of your goal is the way. So the way is the how. It's like the roadmap, how you're going to get there, and how you are going to embrace change. You're going to start to your brain is going to start to go, oh my God, I don't know how to do that, or oh my God, I've got all these challenges around doing that. So the how is going to help you start to problem solve. So it is what skills or competencies do you need to develop? What support do you need to get in order to achieve that goal? Because sometimes, sometimes the how is making sure that you've got somebody to be accountable to each and every week. What is your specific plan for doing it? Sometimes we just like take off and it's like, I don't even have a plan in front of me, so I don't even know what I'm doing. This is what I was doing when I was going to the gym. I didn't have a plan in front of me and I'd get there and I'd faffing around, or I'd avoid going because it's like, oh, I don't know what I want to do today. So, so I now have a plan. I now have a plan. And so let's look at my plan for building my muscles. So, I have a program. In fact, I have two programs that I'm going to follow. I'm going to start with one and then I'm going to graduate to another one. I also have a tracking sheet that I'm going to use to track my progress, to track my strength progress. I'm going to focus on getting stronger because I know that when I get stronger, the results that I want in terms of my muscle mass and getting leaner will also happen as well. I will commit to going back to the how. I'm going to commit to working on certain body parts on certain days and lock those into my calendar. So that's like my own commitment to myself. I've engaged with a coach who is going to help me stay accountable, and we will be meeting on a weekly basis to assess how I'm going, and I guess brainstorm any problems or issues that are coming up. I will also pre-plan my weekly food, and I will meal prep in advance to save myself time and effort during the week, which I do anyway. I'm already on a roll with that, but like I say, it's something I'm going to continue to commit to, because this means that when my week is like really busy through the week, working with clients and adding some more training into my schedule, it ensures that I stay on track with eating healthy foods and not turning to easy options because, oh shit, I haven't made anything and now I'm starving. So that's what I am committing to. That's how the behavior change is going to unfold. What skills or capacities does it require? Well, I don't really need any new skills here. I just simply need to re-engage the skills that I already have. I just need to start putting them to use. I know how to train. I used to be a personal trainer. I have done these specific programs in the past. I don't necessarily need the new skills. I just need to just get myself doing it. I also know how to cook cook whole food plant-based, so I'm going to continue with that as well. Don't necessarily need new skills here. And my specific plan for doing it, like I said, I'm going to commit to at least 3 strength training sessions per week initially. I will meal meal plan on Sunday and do some prep on Sunday as well, and then do a second prep later in the week. That usually for me falls around about a Wednesday. It usually just depends on how long that Wednesday food lasts for. And I'll have weekly sessions, Zoom calls with my coach, and I will also fill out my tracking template weekly. So, just some few basic steps there that I'm going to commit to taking. And as I get stronger, then I'm going to watch those weights increase and, potentially change up that plan to make it a little bit more advanced and harder for myself as well. But I'm going to continue on with it. Ooh. So you can see how having the how is important. It just starts to break down the fear of doing it and go, okay, that's what I want to be doing. That's the thing that I'm going to commit to. It starts to format the habits that you are going to put in place that will get you to the goal that are different from what you are doing now. So you have to address both the why and the how in order to be successful at changing your behavior. You have to know what you're doing, but you also need to have a really compelling why as to why this is important to you. And what we know from how the brain works is that the different parts of the brain operate the why and the how. So the how is that real logical side, and the why is that more creative and emotional side. You need to have the emotional you need to have that emotional pull towards your goals, but you also need to have the logical step-by-step roadmap to get there as well. So we need to use that whole brain to get us to be on, sorry, we need that whole part of our brain to be on board with the goal. If part of our brain is not on board with the goal, then we don't get there. We don't do it because there's part of our brain that is resisting. All right. So, how many of you know what you want to achieve in your health and weight goals, but you're not currently doing it? Like, so you might have, so if this is you might have the why. You may have a really compelling and strong why, and but it may not be strong enough for you. You may not have a compelling enough why. Maybe your whys are based on what you don't want. Like, I'm currently in pain and I don't want to be in pain. That's not really a compelling enough why to push you through the pain of change. All right. So think about your why. Is it compelling enough to pull you forwards, or are you just trying to push yourself out of pain at the moment? Some of you will know your why and be very deeply connected to it. You'll have this amazing vision of what you want for your future, but maybe you're just not clear on the how. Right? Um, you might have been listening to incorrect information, or you're just trying to change too much too soon. Maybe you're trying to stretch yourself and trying to achieve too much too soon. Okay. So I'm just thinking about one of my old clients, Bev. She was very connected to her why. Like, she needed a knee replacement. She could barely walk, osteoarthritis, but she'd been trying her whole life at almost 50 years of age to lose weight. And she needed to lose 15 kilos for a knee surgeon to actually take an appointment with her. And so she was desperate. She was in so much physical pain, but her why was so compelling and so strong. I am going to get in front of that surgeon and he is going to change my knee. So, but poor old Bev just didn't know the how. She'd been listening to the wrong person, wrong people, the wrong advice. She'd been trying, in the past, she'd been trying low carb diets. She'd been trying to smash it out in the gym, and she was getting nowhere with all of that. So when she came and worked with me, I shifted the how for her, gave her a much simpler way of achieving her goals, and before she knew it, she was 80 pounds down. She achieved, I think, 40 pounds. 40 pounds down, I think, in the first 6 months. And after a year, she had, I think it was after a year, she had the operation on her knee. And now she's actually had both knees replaced as well. So, like, life has changed so much for her. So what was missing for her? Like, she had a very compelling why, but she just needed the how. But some of you might know what to do. You might have read all the books. You might follow the same experts that I do, but maybe your why is not compelling enough. You might have whys that are only motivated by pain and getting yourself out of pain. So as soon as you start to see some results and you're no longer in as much pain as you were, you're starting to feel a bit better in your body. Well, then you relax and then, oh my God, I'm not motivated anymore. And so you sabotage yourself, and so that you're taking yourself back to that state of pain so that you feel motivated enough to keep moving again. All right. So maybe for you, your why isn't compelling enough, or maybe your why isn't big enough. Maybe you need to keep reassessing. And every time you hit that first little milestone, then you need to keep reassessing. Maybe you need to just dream a bit bigger and then chunk it down to smaller goals so that your why can continually move you forwards each time you hit your new milestone. All right. All right. So yeah, so studies do tell us that we need to have both the what and the why. So the what, clear goals, making them smart, the why and the how all together. So some people love to plan, but they don't have the motivation to execute. So they probably just need that strong why. But some people love to dream about what they love to achieve, but they just don't get into action because they don't really know how. So as soon as you have all of that together, yeah, you're going to start to become unstoppable. You start to break down that fear of taking the next step forward because you've got a compelling reason why, and you know exactly how you're going to do it. That little bit of fear and that little bit of resistance about doing something different is broken down because you've got all the steps in place to be able to get there. All right, so as you go through this exercise, if you find that the goals that you're setting in the beginning are not if the goals that you set in the beginning not really compelling enough for you, or they're not big enough for you, feel free to go back and work on those. You know, you feel free to expand your goals and make them a little bit bigger. If you feel like you were setting goals that were way too big and you want to shrink it down and just take it one step at a time, feel free to do that as well. That's okay. I want the goals to be meaningful for you and to challenge you, but not be so much of a challenge that you freak out and you don't take action at all. All right. Okay, so let's look at some mistakes that some people make when it comes to setting their goals. Hang on, I'll just check the comments here. Hey, Dawn, thanks for watching. Hey, Gretchen, good to see you here as well. And by the way, guys, if you haven't seen, I've dropped some comments and some questions into the comments that you can just go back and have a look at. And these questions will help you start to flesh out your goals, what it is that you want, what it is you're trying to achieve for this new year. Okay. So some mistakes that people make when trying to set their goals. Let's look at these. Like I say, you're only focused on the how and not the why. So I find this to be, yeah, definitely something that is a challenge for many of the people that I either work with or that come through my challenge. They know what they want, but they're not really too clear on the why. And their why is either very wishy-washy or it's based in pain. It's based about the life they don't want to live. And when our why is based in the life that we don't want to live, the results that we don't want to have, well, guess what? Guess where our focus is? It's on what we don't want. And it doesn't matter whether we do or don't want that. What matters is where our focus is. We create what is constantly in our mind. So if pain is constantly in our mind, if feeling uncomfortable is constantly in your mind, if that's what you're constantly focused on, that's what you end up keep recreating over and over and over. So you need compelling whys. You need a vision in your mind, in your mind's eye, of what it is you want. And then when you've got that in your brain, your mind helps you create that. You are more likely to achieve that goal. Setting too many goals. Like I said, this is one of the big mistakes we make as well. We have this like list of things that we want to check off, and we try and do it all at once. This is going to be overwhelming. I just want you to focus on one or two major goals per year. If one of the other goals is, you know, like this year I wanted to replant my tomatoes and I haven't yet. But I got my potatoes done and I've eaten all the potatoes, so they're done. But really my big my big goals for this 2024 were around my business and around my own health goals as well. And I feel like I made really great progress because I just kept it really freaking narrow. Does it matter that the tomatoes didn't get planted? No, it doesn't really matter. They weren't the big, like, compelling goals for me this year. So I'm not really too worried about that. So stop trying to do everything all at once. You want to just allow your focus to be on a couple of things in the year, even if it's just one thing. Like if your health is the one thing that keeps grabbing your attention, then make that the one thing that you work on this year. All right. Goals take time to achieve and they do require your focus and your attention. If your focus is scattered on too many things, you are going to make progress on nothing. All right. You want to make sure you've got the time, the space, the attention to focus. The third mistake is that you are missing that sweet spot in your goal, that sweet spot being somewhere between being too easy and too hard. So you might have a goal of losing 100 pounds, but you just set the first goal at 5 pounds and you just kind of like, oh, well, 100 pounds, I don't want to think about that because holy crap, or think about all the things that need to change in order to get there. And oh my God, I'm overwhelmed and oh, I'm frustrated. I don't know how I'm going to do it. Right. But 5 pounds is like, oh, okay, well, I don't need to change much to get there. And you knock off the first 5 pounds and then you're like, oh, yeah, done. And you kind of stop. So you still want it to be a bit of a stretch. So maybe break it down first 10 pounds, first 15 pounds, or something like that. Make it so that it's a stretch so that you do have to do something new. And you want to make sure that it's not the only part of the goal. If you've got a big goal, break it down, but don't stop when you've achieved that first part. Keep going. You need to then reassess your goal. What is the next goal? You need to go through this process again, get yourself reconnected. The thing that might be driving you towards the next 10 pounds may be different to what was driving you towards the first 10 pounds. Remember, if you've got a significant amount of weight to lose, then you might be in a lot of pain. And you want to make sure that as you start to make that progress towards your goals, that you're not just always relying on that pain to motivate you forwards, that you are starting to create that compelling vision of your future that you can grip hold of, right? So you want to make sure that you've got that sweet spot in your goal. It's enough of a stretch that gets you to change your behaviors, change your habits, create new habits. But it's not so much of a stretch that you are overwhelmed and feel like it's just too much for you. Fourth mistake is we have goals that are just way too general, like just lose weight, feel healthier, um, feel better, whatever it might be, no longer in pain. You want to make sure that your goals are smart. So that means specific, measurable, achievable, are realistic, and time related as well. Although I'm going to put a caveat on the time and say, yeah, you want to give yourself a time, but if you don't get there in that time, let's not panic. As long as you've made progress towards your goal in that time. But you do want to have like a realistic idea of how long something might take you to achieve as well, particularly when it comes to things like weight loss. And most of us have very unrealistic goals out there. I can tell you right now that healthy and sustainable weight loss happens between 0.5 and 2 pounds per week on average, right? For men, it might be 1 to 2 pounds on average. For women, it might be 0.5 to 1 pound on average. The closer you are to your goal, the longer it's going to take to get there, because each little gram that you lose, each pound is a greater percentage of your overall weight. Right. So when you've got a lot of weight to lose, you might be losing it faster at first because each pound is a smaller percentage of your overall weight. Okay. And a lot of it might also be inflammation or water and things like that your body is holding on to. So not necessarily always body fat. So how am I going to make my goal specific? Well, I'm not setting a cap on my strength, but what I do want to see is progress with strength. I want to see my strength increasing. And when it comes to seeing that muscle on my body and seeing the effect of it having getting leaner on my body, I don't have an effective way to be able to measure that myself because I don't have a scale that measures body fat. If I did, I'd be using that daily. There might be one at the gym, but I'm going to be clothed while I'm at the gym, so it's going to give me all sorts of crazy numbers. So I'm not going to use that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take measurements and I'm going to take photos as well. So plus I'm also going to use my clothes as a guide. I know how I feel in particular items of clothing, and yeah, when I feel really good in my body and feel, I guess, how I want to be feeling, then I remember how that feels. Plus, I've also got some old photos of me of when I was doing this last, when I felt at my strongest and my leanest. So I'm going to use those photos as comparison, not to beat myself up now, but to go, okay, where am I now versus where do I want to be? And how do my photos look in terms of my progress getting there, right? Just using it as data instead of drama. Five. Um, five, one of the mistakes that we make is we don't use data to assess our goals and we use drama instead. So we're not taking enough data. We're not recording our data. We're not getting on that scale because we're afraid of what that number says. We're beating ourselves up over what we make that number mean. We're afraid to take photos because we don't want to see photos of our body as it is at the moment. We're afraid to measure the results because we're afraid to see that we're not progressing, right? So we're not recording our data. We also might not be recording the things that we're eating, the activity that we're doing. We're not recording our habits. We're not tracking our habits that are going to get us there. We're not tracking our data. And so we kind of just blindly, it's like we want to go in that direction, but we've got our eyes closed. And so we're kind of wandering off over here, right? That's a big mistake that most people make as well. And so if you have a goal, I want you to determine, if you know the how you're going to get there, I want you to track that. I want you to track your progress about how you're going to get there. I want you to track where you're at the moment. I want you to note where you're at the moment, where you want to be. And I want you to track that progress towards there, whether that's the habits that you are going to adopt, the behavior change that you're going to adopt, whether that is tracking the actual metrics. So my clients, they will track their weight, they'll track their measurements, they track their symptoms as well. Right. So sometimes things are changing within our body, especially if they have a lot of health symptoms that they're wanting to release as well. We track that because then that also tells you that something is changing on the inside of your body. Your body is actually getting healthier. When your body gets healthier, it starts to release unwanted weight from your system as well. So you need to track. You need to use data and not drama. Don't just tell yourself porky stories about, about where you're at the moment. Get true with where you're at the moment and where you want to be, and know where you are in relation to each. Okay. It will just help you make better decisions going forwards. Instead of standing on that scale and seeing that number going up, you can look at your habits and go, oh, I can see I didn't have a good night's sleep the other night. And I feel a bit inflamed in my body. You can make an assessment over the data. If you're tracking your data and you see the number go up at one point because it's going to, that's what happens. You can also stand back and look at the total data from the start to where you're at now. Like my client Margaret was doing, she was weighing herself every single day, and one day she saw the scale go up by a pound, and she started to freak out, thinking that she was failing and she was going backwards all of a sudden. But no, when we stood back and looked at the data, she was 10 pounds down in 4 weeks. So she wasn't failing, she was succeeding. So we don't need to make drama out of data that does not make sense, right? So use data and not drama, okay? So that's the fifth mistake that people make. Okay. Alrighty, so do we have any questions, team? Good to see you. Hi, Laurie. Good to see you here. So, your goals. What do you want? Why do you want it? What do you want? Get really super smart. Why do you want it? And how are you going to get there? Not just how are you going to get there, but how are you going to measure your progress? Your first steps are listening to this training. And then applying this to your own goals, applying this strategy to your goals, right? And I want to remind you that you're not starting at zero. You've taken some steps already just by listening to this training. You've probably taken some other steps already as well. You know, some of the books you might have read. You've come to this group, for example. You know, you might be getting my emails and things like that. So you're already taking action. So you're never really starting at zero. And especially if you've, if you've indulged a little over this Christmas break and, you've put on some weight again, it's okay. You're not starting at zero. You're not starting again. If you've had an on-off relationship with your goals, you're not starting again. You're starting with some awareness. You're starting with some momentum already. So let's just think about gently bringing you back on track. So, if I think about my strength goal and what I'm ticking off already, I've already got two programs that I can follow. So, I've already decided when I'm starting. I'm already eating whole food plant-based. So I already got into a healthy routine with food prep. So I'm already on a roll there. I already have been making some progress getting back to the gym already, right? I just haven't been, as consistent as I'd like to be. But I haven't been totally off track with that. I've engaged with my coach already. We've got an appointment already to meet up every single week. And I already know how to train. I know I will have muscle memory. It's going to come back pretty quickly because I've done it before. I know what I'm doing in terms of my strength training. I know that at least one of the programs that I will do, I'm going to start with that one because I know it. So it feels like I already have some momentum to get this goal going already. I don't feel like I'm I'm going to start everything from scratch, right? No, I'm already taking action. So you can do this exact same thing with your goal. Where are you already taking action so that you feel like you're already in momentum? All right. If you don't know what to do, make sure you grab my weight loss guide for for the key hows, the key steps to take. All right, have a good read through it. If you don't have my recipes, make sure that you grab my recipes as well. And I can drop, actually, I'll go back and update the copy at the top of this post after I've finished, and I'll drop in the links there for you so you can just download those. And one thing I want to also help you if you are taking momentum. I want to tell you now about the two upcoming events that are going to help you get started or take the next step towards your goals. All right, so the first is my free 5-day weight loss challenge. So I was running those last year. We had some great feedback and great results from people. So I just had a message the other day from Debbie, who she says it's changed her life. It is so valuable, such amazing information over the 5 days. She gained so much awareness around food and what she was eating and how to change what she was doing so that she could achieve her goals easily. And she said it's made a huge difference. I think last time she spoke to me, she said she had lost almost 10 kilos. So Debbie, if you're watching this, can you confirm for us how much you've lost now, which is amazing. And she said she even lost a kilo while she was traveling around the US over pre-Christmas. So guys, if you living in the US and you think it's too hard, well, guess what? Debbie was doing it while traveling over there and not necessarily being perfect, but making intentional choices about what she was eating, making choices with awareness. So this free 5-day weight loss challenge is going to help you understand the how. It's also going to help you get connected to the what you want, the why you want it, and how to do it. So I'm gonna help you suss out all three of those. All right. You're also going to learn about some key mistakes that most people make when they're trying to achieve their weight loss goals, so you can avoid making those mistakes. Um, Plus, we'll also really dive into mindset and understand the mindset and the commitment that you need to make to yourself in order to achieve success. All right, so we're going to learn the what, the why, the how, and then your mindset and your commitment. So if you're ready for that, if you want more detail about that, write challenge in the comments and I'll come back to you. If we're not friends on Facebook, by the way, just send me a friend request or send me a message. Just say, interested in the challenge. So we are kicking off. Australia, New Zealand, UK dates will be the 13th to the 17th of January. So not next Monday, but the one after. And for anybody in the US, that will be from Sunday to Thursday, so the 12th to the 16th for US Canadian time zones. All right. So kicking off not next week, but the week after. And okay, so we will work in small groups over Zoom during those 5 days. You will have access to the replays if you can't be there live, but I do encourage you to be there live because you'll get so much more out of it. And it's like your commitment every day to making that change for yourself. I will give you a workbook so that you'll to help you make some decisions and get super clear on your path forward. And what else? Yes, a few, yeah. So what I'd love to do is just have a quick 10-minute chat with you just to make sure that it's right. I want to have a chat to you about your goals. Just make sure that this challenge is going to be perfect for you. And if it's perfect, then I'll get you set up and ready to go. All right, so that's the free challenge starting the 13th through to the 17th of January. And then the week after that, I am launching my plant-based health kickstart. So we are launching that again to through January. It's a 4-week kickstart. This is a 28-day roadmap to accelerated health, vitality, and weight loss. So this one is going to be for you if you need that help and support with the getting started with your goals, with the actual, with being accountable to making that change, to clearing out your kitchen, to restocking your kitchen, to knowing what to eat. So this dives even further into the how. This is teaching you actually what to eat, but also giving you delicious recipes that you can simply follow. Um, so the idea is that you're committing to 28 days of doing this for your health and weight loss journey to get that really underway and get those habits under control. So the meal plan that you'll get will take away a lot of the decision fatigue and overwhelm around what to eat, because I know that can be a real challenge for many people when they're starting this journey. The recipes are delicious. They're very simple to make. I have a very small kitchen, as you can see, like my apartment's not big. And so I don't have a lot of complex equipment. I don't have a lot of space to be able to just make a big mess. You'll also be doing a lot of batch cooking so that you're not cooking every single meal from scratch. And like the whole idea is that this is saving you time and helping you get in a flow with doing it. All right. So it's really going to free up your mind to focus on your life and what else you're creating in your life without needing to think about food obsessively. All you need to do is execute that plan and allow your body do what it's programmed to do when given the right resources, which is things like releasing toxins and inflammation, releasing symptoms, healing your gut function, increasing your energy, improving your skin, releasing excess weight from your body as well. All right, so changing our habits can be really hard on our own. So having that support and the accountability helps you commit to the process. Also having community. We'll be running this in a small group forum. We'll have weekly Zoom meetings. So, this world is not set up to support us, in the whole food plant-based space and achieving our health goals. Many of the people in our lives are not on this journey with us. It can be difficult eating out at restaurants and things like that, but when you come into a community space and you're doing it with other people, then you can all be holding each other's hand and helping each other stay committed to the journey. All right, so it helps you feel like you've got friends on the journey instead of being alone and doing it on yourself. And we've had some incredible results from people who've done this version in the past, up to about 7 kilos lost in 4 weeks. That's around 15 pounds, which is insane, really. So it's helped people lose inflammation. It's helped people let go of pain. It's helped people, like one of my clients cleared up a lot of rosacea that she had on her skin. One client had a really angry gut before starting the program. She came away with perfect digestion. She felt amazing. Also, everybody has said that the energy increases significantly. And everybody who's come through has lost some weight. Everyone who's done it from start to finish has lost some weight, and they've been really, really excited about how they feel. We've also had few of my clients have released a lot of their menopause symptoms. One of my client was able to like really sugar detox as well. She felt amazing after she'd done it. So it's helped many people who weren't whole food plant-based start the process and experience what it's like to actually do it and feel what it's like in their body to actually feel healthier. It's helped many people who are, say, processed food vegans detach from that processed food, get off the junk food, and help to really detox their body and increase their energy levels and feel so much better in their health as well. So we've had a lot of amazing results in the past as we've done this program. So yeah, why not let that be you? So we're going to kick that one off on the 20th of January, 20th of January, my time. That will be Monday. That's the day that it will start. We will have a Zoom call to go through the program and just nut out how to get started. And then we will meet weekly over Zoom as well and make sure that we have community for you, we have support, and we're answering any questions that you might have or brainstorming any problem solving that we need to problem solve over that time. So you can commit to 28 days of doing anything. Think about it this way. You don't have to think about it as a commitment for the rest of your life if you don't want to. Or if you're really wanting some support to commit yourself to get back on track with healthy, whole food, plant-based eating, this can be your way to commit to yourself as well. So it takes approximately 21 days of doing something new to start getting uncomfortable about doing that something new, right? And that's when most people fall off the wagon. And that's why my program is 28 days, because when you have that support to keep going beyond that, this feels uncomfortable stage, it starts to become familiar and starts to become a habit for you. All right. So I want to get you past that hump so that you're not quitting on yourself. And that you then can continue to do what you are now more familiar with and start to achieve those longer term results those longer term goals that you're setting for yourself today. All right. You're going to start to see results in this program, and you'll be more committed to doing it long term because you're starting to feel better in your body. It's starting to feel more familiar, and you're starting to get excited about the results you see. And you're starting to also get that dopamine from making progress towards those goals that you're setting for yourself. All right, so in this program, you'll have the foundational trainings on the whole food plant-based diet, tips and tricks of how to do it well in your kitchen, how to set yourself up well and succeed in your kitchen. And you'll also have trainings on how to sustain your whole food plant-based lifestyle in a world that's not set up to support you, whether that is eating out or traveling or having those uncomfortable and awkward conversations with friends and family who just don't understand why you're doing what you're doing. They just don't get it. All right. So I'm going to help you adopt this way of eating and master it for the rest of your life. You get the course access for the rest of your life as well. Okay, so there is an early bird discount on this program. So it's $100 off until I had said December 31st, but I think I'm going to extend that out. So bear with me as I look at the extension of that out, because I'm now extending out the start date. I was going to start on the 13th, but just I'm trying not to overwhelm myself with doing too much as well, and I'm trying to have a holiday at the moment. So I've decided to push out that start date till the 20th. So if anyone signed up for it already, the start date will be the 20th. So let me just check my calendar here to check the new. I'm going to give you till where are we? We've got that week. I'm going to give you till Sunday the 12th. Sunday the 12th of Jan. for that early bird. I haven't really, because I've been on holiday, I haven't really been promoting it much. So, so I'll give you a chance to sign up. And so $100 off, as I said, we'll make that now Sunday the 12th. And so it's at the moment $197 US, or it'll be $297 once that early bird price has gone away. All right, so don't dilly-dally on that. If you want more information on my Kickstart program, just type Kickstart below or message me Kickstart, and I will have a chat to you. I'll give you the information on that, and make sure we can get you booked in time and get you that super hot early bird deal. And let's focus on making 2025 our year of health, of personal strength, of physical strength, of achieving our goals, of becoming badass, plant-powered people. That's the way I like to see it. Okay, so you're working on your goals. You need to know what you want. You need to make it smart. You need to know why you want it in a compelling way. And you need to have your plan of how you are going to get there and how you're going to measure your progress. All right. So that's your start. If you want details on my challenge, write challenge or message me challenge. If you want details on my Kickstart, comment or message me Kickstart. And let's have a chat. Alrighty, team. Let's just go back to the comments here. Oops, see if anybody has left any questions. I don't see any questions. So yeah, I think let's just leave it there for the moment. Thank you for joining me. I hope you got some benefit out of that. Sorry, it was a little late today for those of you in the US. I know it's Sunday night, but anyway, I hope it was entertaining. You can always come back and watch the replay. All right, team. Ciao for now. I'll see you later.